Now they were talking about logging off, so I said, "Well, I'm going to go on." So when everybody bails out, I'm here waiting. Um, I had some thoughts about the put in and take out and stuff like that. Nobody's watching yet. I prefer if somebody's, at least one person is listening when I'm talking to this thing. I uploaded my video earlier of my search from yesterday. How you doing there, Big Whoopie? Two in. Did they end their stream? They were talking about it. They were having trouble staying connected. But Jason, he has his thing about, oh, what's the word? There's some word that's like not spelled right in the poem and all. It's Terry. Terry is the carry from the put in. Okay, the put in and take out are people. All these people searching are thinking whitewater rafting. Oh, the ancient adventurers, Lewis and Clark, and so on. They had to, when they're coming up the Missouri River, there were places like Great Falls, Montana, where they had to take the canoes out and carry them, not tarry them. It's so a put in is also a take out. So anytime you put in and take out are the same thing. It's like the omegas, the exits and entrances, the same thing. It's the beginning and the end or something, or you know, it all ties together. And the put in, where he says put in, people are thinking, oh, we're going to go down the river. No, this is where if people coming the other way would put in below the Homer Brown. So there's, because a put in at a portage is like we can come up the Missouri only so far. And then there's a portage to get from the Missouri River over to the Snake River. They had to carry their heavy canoe, so that 3,900 pounds of stuff they had to haul over the Continental Divide. That's a heavy load. And so they had to take all their stuff out in their canoes. And there was a video online about Lewis and Clark and the guy standing at a museum display of the portage where they got wheels under the canoe and they're pulling the canoe up the hill, pulling their gear and all that over the mountain. They pull their gear over the mountain. It's a carry, not a tarry. So from the put in, the put ins, Jay, as I was saying, is a takeout and a put in, because we're talking about a portage where you're going over the Continental Divide from one portage to the other, and there's a carry in between going over the mountain. And what I found is it's an ancient carry from the Ice Age. These people, they come up the river as far as they could, and this is where they got out, and they put their canoes on the Mammoths and carried them over the mountain. Jack's got his leash ran around something he couldn't get on the couch. He's trying to figure it out. Oh man, I want to get on the couch. So the portage is a carry, not a tarry. And there's a put in and a takeout at each end. So people traveling west would put in on the west side of the Continental Divide. They take out on the east side and they put in on the west side. People traveling east would take out on the west side and put in on the east side. The rivers were the highways in the old days, the frontier days and stuff. In fact, my ancestors, my fifth great grand uncle, great, Great, not grade, People don't want to, they don't listen. I heard great. I said great. T with a T on the end. Great grand uncle. Not fifth grade, fifth great. Okay. Robert Rogers, he wrote the instructions that Lewis and Clark used to go to the Pacific Ocean. They're to follow the Missouri River to the Shining Mountains. From there, it's a 20-mile carry to the Oregon River that leads to the Pacific Ocean. The Oregon River turned into the Snake. It used to be the Snake was the main river, not the Columbia that went all the way to the ocean before, but it was known as the Oregon River. He spelled it Ourigan, and it's been changed to Oregan. So my ancestors, named the state of Oregon, basically because the Indians couldn't pronounce hooligan, and it was the Smelt Trail. If you want to go deep into Lewis and Clark, the Smelt Trail, where they traded fish from the Pacific with the natives of like Minnesota and stuff, the Chippewas and all that. But the Chippewas couldn't pronounce the Oregon or the H or the, so they hooligan was pronounced Oregon. And just 1 second, I gotta let Jack wants to relax. I gotta close the door. Close the door and let him off. Oh, Jack, what'd you do to the door? This is supposed to be quick. Oh, jeez. Here, dog. What'd you do? Okay. Back in. Oh, God, he ran around my leg. In. Right there. Stop. Jeez. Where's that rope going, Jack? Around the mirror. Okay, we're good. There. So we had to untangle his leash. Was wrapped around the door. I'm trying to close the door, and he like tied the door up with he's got a paracord as he was trying to get on the couch, but now he's good. Come over here. Come here, Jack. He said, no, I'll go to the couch. Come over here. So I uploaded a video earlier. Well, Jason, it took 2 hours for it to upload on my search yesterday. Yeah, I'm out of breath from closing the damn door and letting the dog in. Yeah, they had to carry all that gear over the mountain. That's a carry. And they go from portage to portage. And the portage has a takeout and a put in. So it doesn't matter which end, because the where you start is just like where you end. You put in, you start your adventure at the put in, and you end it at the takeout. Well, the takeout was from them going the opposite direction. And so, yeah, if you're, one of those old wilderness adventurers, you couldn't get out like waterfalls, the same thing. You'd have to take your canoe and all your gear in your canoe and haul it over that heavy load over to the top side of the waterfall so you can continue up the river. They didn't just go downstream like whitewater rafting. They went upstream and downstream with them. And there were places where maybe they had a big load and there's just some rapids and stuff, and you couldn't really paddle up it, but they'd have somebody with a rope, would have a rope on either end tied to the boat, on either, and they're on either, and they pull it up the loaded boat through up the rapids that way. Yeah, there's smoke and mirrors. I keep saying there's smoking. He used a lot of smoke and mirrors in the poem. Basically, that's what they call it. I gotta get my wallet out of my back pocket. I'm lopsided. So Terry could be Carrie, and tired and weak is even a clue. That's where I'm camped. I'm camped at tired and weak. It's a translation. What does tired and weak mean? There's a single word that means tired and weak. There's a single word that people used to use a lot more than they do now. You might have heard it on Andy Griffith's show, and his I think granddaughter or something has a dog named after tired and weak. So, and that's where and water high is like I say, you go up as high as you can into the mountains with your canoe, and you got to take out, and then you carry it over the mountain to the other side and put in, and you can continue to the other ocean. You got the Atlantic that's warm water, and the Pacific is cold water, except the Homer Browns over. It's not much chance over the Homer Brown side of the divide. There's not much chance of it being there because it's millionaire properties and stuff like that, and there's fences and no trust. You can't mess with it. They're selling 35-acre lots for $5 million there. So yeah, and one other thing I found at the waterfall in my intro video that's on my video I edit, that waterfall right where it cuts that I'm reaching in with the gloves and stuff, that's the end of the rainbow. That's the waterfall that's right in the within a quarter mile of where I'm searching that area around that waterfall. But I found this at the waterfall. It's an omega. So that was something to find that at the water. This you can go climbing with this one. That's a professional one. Davio would know that stuff. Poem does it. CEO of Cabela's isn't too far from you. He's a cabin in the Chinchera. Oh yeah, I was looking at land over there too. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, CEO of Cabela's has a cabin. My ass. I bet his cabin's like 3,000 square feet. Yeah, I go camp. There's a nice place you can go camping for free over there at Trinchera. Is at Mountain Home Reservoir, right near Fort Garland. It's just east of Fort Garland, behind the hill. You can barely get a cell phone signal there, but you get one, and you can camp 14 days for free. I think it's managed by Colorado Wildlife. So yeah, you can camp there at Mountain Home Reservoir for free. I camp here for free. You get 14 days out of 30. And I got my car parked in front of my RV facing this way. And tomorrow morning, I got to turn my RV around, hook up the car, and get out of here before the ranger tells me to get out of here. So I'm going back down to my other camp spot tomorrow. You hear The elephant. The elephant in the room. But yeah, that and that's Lewis and Clark. You know. I wonder if that computer. It's got two slide things on it. It's like one, please, one. Yeah, this isn't slide rule. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of that where they're hauling the boat over the and the in the museum thing, the thing of them showing them hauling the boat over the mountain. They had wheels on the boat. It was a dugout canoe. They were heavy. It wasn't a no birch bark canoe. And they say they had 3,900 pounds of stuff, 3,000, a ton and a half. Portage is where they. This is oh shoot! It's taking me to somebody's WordPress. And it's probably got, that's big enough picture. I'll show you. So, you see, they had to put the canoe on wheels and haul it. I mean, not just over flat land like that. They had to haul it over the freaking mountain, over the Continental Divide. That's a heavy load. That's a heavy load. Look at how many people got to pull their canoe. People nowadays they're so used to having their car or truck and the big fifth. They don't think about how did people move their shit back then. So yeah, no, you don't see any other channels talking about that, but it's important. Is if you're following Lewis and Clark. I mean, they followed the river, and then as far as they could, and then they had to haul the canoes over the mountain the rest of the way. 20 miles they had to go to get from the Missouri to the Snake River, and they transported their canoes over that land, over the mountain, the heavy load to the other side where they put in. Or where they, but we're going from the put in to the takeout because you're going to take out the treasure, is why he did that. That's called the pull-out method. Pull-out method. No, it's called a portage or a carry. Robert Rogers said you follow the Missouri River, the Shining Mountains from there. It's a 20-mile carry to the Oregon River. A carry, and so if he just changed that one letter, it's a Terry instead of a carry. So, a carry scant. And if you're saying carry scant, then you're getting pretty close to saying Gary Grant. And Gary Grant was in his first movie was a movie called Peggy. Now, how ironic is that? Cary Grant's first movie was Peggy. I think it was 1951. And so it's there's a lot of synchronicities. And like Gary Cooper, who was in Farewell to Arms and For Whom the Bell Tolls, starred Gary Cooper. And Gary Cooper is from Helena, Montana. He died 69, 60s, in the 60s or early 70s. Gary Cooper did. At 61, he died from cancer. and he's from Montana. I'm sure he hung out in that. You know, if he was from Helena, he probably still had a lot of ties. Visited Montana himself a lot. Maybe Forrest Fenn took Gary Cooper fishing. I don't know, but you'd think if he was from Helena, he'd know how to fish. And he was in the movie Sergeant York. And Sergeant York has the bullseye with is right in the bottom of the V. It wasn't a bullseye target with circles, concentric circles. The bullseye was a V and you had to put your bullet right in between the V, right in the crotch of the V, and not really tear the lines, the V itself. You had to be. That's what a bullseye was, and I was searching yesterday, and oh, there were two trees, and they were like identical twins. I think they were ponderosa, not ponderosa, but they were big, round, beautiful pine trees. Two of them identical, and they went like this. Oh, right in between them. I got up there. I realized behind me, it was split, and there was another tree coming off the backside of it. It's raining now. I can hear the rain. Someone told me it's a 30% chance of rain. Yeah, well, it rains. It rains a lot here. I searched like 4 days out of the last 7, and partly because I had to go to the doctor, and the rain mostly keeps you from searching. But like yesterday, I went searching yesterday afternoon, like 2:30, 3 o'clock. I went out to search, and I got back at 6:30 or so. But it was a beautiful day out there yesterday, and I let Jack loose, and I climbed up the spot because I had to look in this corner pocket right by his elbow, because he says I rested my arm on a bronze. So you're looking for his figures in the canyon walls, and I found the one of him holding the tombstone, and he's got an elbow. Anywhere you see an elbow bent like that, you think the treasure might be under that elbow. But you don't know which figure it is you're looking for, which, they're all, but like you said, if you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease. It just identifying it, finding it, and all that. It was all it took, but since the way he set his rule for how this was going to go, nobody's going to find it before he's gone, before he's dead. No, he picks the winner and he names them. He grants title to the winner in his will. That's what happens. Whoever found the ancient stuff that he sent 300,000 people looking for, whatever, 500,000 people looking for, his treasure, and the person who can figure out that, his stories are on the canyon walls all over the place here. He said there's 10 billion blazes. Well, I've found 10,000 of them so far. A lot of the blazes there's multiple things told in the same space. He says a picture, and he has quoted the saying that a picture tells 1,000 words. He says he drew the poem like an architect. An architect draws. An architect doesn't write. An architect draws. He does some writing, but it's mechanical, all caps normally. Some don't do all caps. Did I pour some tea? I need a drink. Let me see. 1 second here. Let me see if I got a cup. And put the Yeah, I got some hot tea. 2 spoons. It's gonna be too hot to drink right away. Okay. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. The bells and stuff. It'd be nice to move out of this. It's just not enough room in here for things that you know, because I got a lot of gadgets. I got these. This is a 3D camera, has 2 lenses. See, so it has 2 lenses. Oh, and it's working. It has a lenticular lens, so you don't need any special glasses to see the 3D on the screen. It's lenticular like the old baseball cards. It's really cool. But then when to process, you turn them into something for the computer and stuff, and then it's red and blue, or I don't have the other type. Corner pocket. Yeah, because remember he got the the beads. He won the bracelet with the beads playing pool with Fred Harvey's nephew or something. I found Moses 3 years ago. I've already collected that token. And you won't find the Buffalo Cowboy card because it's in my shed. Too hot. Wind and rain. 10-mile-an-hour wind, keeping the power on. I was just looking at the solar panels. I found there's some pretty cheap solar panels on eBay now. They got a big inventory and now they can't, so they have to lower the price to sell all they have. Yoga party. Now I don't do yoga. I don't wear yoga pants. Closest I come to that was I was on a swim team and wore a Speedo. Whoop, yeah. Wind really picking up now. You can hear the wind generator humming up there. Yeah, I got my windows closed. It's 60 inside and 48 outside. And raining up against my windows on the side. And yeah, we took because I'm going to haul out of here tomorrow. I picked up all the trash I could and put it in a bag and took it up to the campground up here. There's a big old dumpster in there. With like 6 doors on it, and the people who run the campground they lock the gate up, and the garbage people can't go in there and take their can out for the winter, so it's locked in there behind the gate. I know it's up there, so when I camp up here, I'll take my bag of garbage and throw it in there. It'll sit there all winter until they open next June. But I know where to go. I go over to the campground I was working at to get my fill up my water bottles. but I'm gonna head down to my other spot tomorrow, and I've had 5 mice so in the last 3 days in my live trap, and take them out day, but one of them somewhere got into some wires, and so my I don't have a speedometer, or you know, you got to check the oil and watch for steam if you're overheating, you know. But I use my Google Maps for a speedometer, and I think they got the right side brake light turn signal. Oh, and so after this 2 weeks, next 2 weeks down at my lower camping area, then I'm going to take it over to my land, and maybe I can get it worked out, fixed up there. I wanted to go down to Arizona or something for the winter. But it's always a pain in the ass. I'm getting tired of, you know, you move the RV every two. It's getting too much for me. Just fighting the cancer is enough struggle for me. The blood cancer and lupus, and it's so since I have a anti-thyroid hormone, I have the anti-vitamin B12 hormone or antibodies. I have the anti-thyroid antibodies, anti-B12 antibodies, lupus ANA antibodies, and if you got that many, they're called autoimmune. Your immune system thinking it's fighting germs and it's attacking you, you know. And if you have that many of them, it's called multiple autoimmune syndrome. You know what that spells? MAS, mass. so those guys running the Corvette Ronnie, I asked him while he's it was K-Pro's show, and I said, "Hey, Ronnie, is the FBI watching?" What regulates bone marrow? The thyroid, probably. And my new doctor said that if I did the oxygen sensor thing overnight, and that said that I needed oxygen while I'm sleeping, that they should have given me. And I said, well, you know, so they're gonna get me another sleep. She said I could do a home sleep study where you, I guess it's probably just a mask or something, and the oxygen sensor, and what, you know. But yeah, I can do the home sleep study because I have trouble sleeping when I go into, you know, new environment and stuff, and overactive mind. You're like, go to sleep, and your body's like, nah, fuck you, I'm not going to sleep. The CBD regulates bone marrow hormone, and homeopathic extern. Oh, CD82. I don't know. Okay. Well, where's that come from? It's got to be something natural, you know. All they do for me is I go in once a month, and they drain the excess blood off. I guess if it advances into acute myeloid leukemia, then it's then they go and do the chemotherapy and stuff like that. CD82. Yeah, mine. I had they did a test for, and the thing that makes tells your bone marrow to make blood, that thing, mine was like double what it should be, you know. when I already have too much. It's make more, make more, make more. you know. So um, really, if you, it means I have my immune system is tenacious. It's basically on steroids. My immune anything comes after me, it'll kill it. but it's so much that it's attacking my own organs and things, except they're rejuvenating at the just as fast as a rate, So it's uh, yeah, and I looked up and I see a lot of people with this PV live to be 90, 95 and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of promising, as long as it's getting treated. And that's probably the reason they live that because they're getting treated, and you're draining off the extra blood, you're filtering off the what you don't need, and you're making new stuff, new blood to replace it constantly. So it, it's like getting an oil change every month instead of every 3 months. Oh. And this hand, I think, is hurting from my. Was it about 5 days ago when I went over the top? I climbed up the canyon wall and over the top. And then I came down another part that was more sloped, and my foot rocks on little pebbles on top of bedrock or whatever. There's like bedrock. There's not a bunch of dirt, just a few pebbles on that. Kick the pebbles out of the way and step in a spot because them little pebbles are like roller skates. Now, whew, and down on hit my elbow, and this hand hit the ground, and that's why this hand is, I think, the joints are hurting. Better take my daily dose. I couldn't sleep last night. 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't take my pills. Wonder I couldn't sleep because apparently they helped me get to sleep. But yeah, that's and there's vitamins in there too. Like the biggest ones here are vitamin C, calcium, and I got iron. No, iron I do every other day. But I got D and E and A and thyroid and allergy pill and and one for my tremors. No psychoactives, none at all. They're just for health things. Like Susie come out and say she's on disability for mental disability. I got mine strictly on physical disability. It's all about the only time I drink the soda is swallow my pills. One of them bottles lasts about 4 or 5 days. If I don't have some tea, I prefer the hot tea. They were saying like Asians and stuff don't get as much cancer, and they think it's because of the hot tea they drink. Because it helps kill germs, dissolve nutrients and stuff. 19 stem cell work. How you doing, Maria? Yeah, well, I went over the thing of don't like mentioning it over and over and over again. I kind of when I start the video, I try and discuss what the title of the video is, and then after that, I'll talk about the treasure or the the poem and stuff, and just how life is going in general and things. One thing I know to figure out Forrest Fenn is because he's so close to my dad's age, and I grew up around my dad, so my dad shot the bus driver with his BB gun. It was hiding behind the couch when they caught up with him. He was hiding behind the couch again, so that was the ordeal for my dad. I guess they were living in Berkeley when he did that. My dad went to Berkeley High School in California. But that's the wind pushing my RV around. I'm up on the leveling jack, so yeah, 22. I don't think you got any no flies. You put them on there, popping and popping, and pretty soon you smell them. Cooked flies, and I've had some meat bees or like yellow jacket type bees, and they're decommissioned. They can't go tell their friends come back and attack me because it's like instant death to them. Oh, and this shoulder I had surgery on, I guess in April or maybe it was May. I don't know, but it's worse than before the surgery. There's bones grinding, and it's like really bad. It's like tendon and muscles, not the bone. The bone ain't bad. And then this shoulder is wanting to do the same stuff. This the lupus or the pernicious anemia gives you rigid muscles, and so does lupus, and so I got a couple things that makes my muscles tight, and I take quinine to relax my muscles. Not all surgeons are made alike. Yeah. That's the second time I've had surgery on that shoulder. So I don't know. Next time they probably have to put a titanium socket and stuff. Or it's when I had the bicycle accident in '99. Something broke and something ain't in the right place, and they're not seeing it. Something like that. I don't know. Yeah, the Terry or the Terry might be carry for carrying it like over the mountain. Heavy loads. You got to haul your canoe and your load over the mountain to put it in the river on the other side. Especially if you're following Lewis and Clark. No, east, going to going by Del Norte, Monte Vista, Old Spanish Trail. And speaking, there's Old Spanish Trail that goes down to Santa Fe too, doesn't it? From right up here, it goes right down to Santa Fe. And the other thing, the blanks. 300 dead Frenchmen. Oh, wait, there were hundreds of gravestones of these dead Frenchmen, hundreds of them. And LeBlanc had three in the late 1700s. LeBlanc expedition had 300 Frenchmen came from out of Kansas City or whatever, or Topeka, I think it was. They came from Topeka and were up here mining gold, and the Spaniards and Indians caught them and slaughtered them all but three of them. and three people made it back to Kansas. Only one of them made it back to France. So there's 300 dead French. That's what Treasure Mountain is named after, these 300 dead Frenchmen. And people can't see that clue. It's like, oh my God, you got to have a toilet plunger and force it down their throat, you know? They can't, they just, oh yeah, oh, I can't put the 300 Frenchmen were in Vietnam though. And he was saying that there's things in Vietnam that reminded him of here. There are things here that remind him of Vietnam. It's those Spanish trails in your neck of the woods. Yeah, speaking of my neck of the woods, my neck was hurting last night. I can feel a little tight over here right now. And I'll plug this product because it's great. It's like it's wasabi for your muscles. Yeah, for your neck. And I put on my neck and I put some on my shoulder. And the thing I like, you don't get any on your fingers. And pull the hair out of the way. And then after you put it on, you don't want to get your fingers in it and touch your eyes. That's for sure. But this stuff is blazing hot. How you doing, Thor girl? You got to figure out who's Thor girl. Speaking of Thor girl, okay, over there, that other channel, the cow poop and stuff. Thor is talking about the 7 searchers that came within 200 feet. I said, oh, like the 7 dwarfs, K-Pro and the 7 dwarfs. I was put on timeout for K-Pro and the 7 dwarfs. Put on timeout for the what kind of sick mind them people have. I'm just talking about I'm just talking of, I'm just saying, oh, the 7 searchers, 200 feet. That's like the 7 dwarfs. We got we got Digger, we got Lurker, we got Sneaker, and Tweaker, and the 7 dwarfs of the chase is what I was getting at, and I got put on timeout for that shit. Can you believe that shit? And they were thanking Copper Dan for putting the people like, okay, if Copper Dan, he's not my friend. What kind of, well, what's in his, somebody wasn't thinking, oh, K-Pro and the 7 dwarfs, they talking about sex. No. I was talking about, we got to have this, like the 7 dwarfs of the chase. Yeah. You got to sleep. Yeah, I try to sleep. It's one thing nice. Nobody tells me when to go to sleep. If there was somebody to say, hey, let's go to bed, I'd probably go to bed earlier, but there's nobody to drag me into the bed. Oh, that shoulder. And there I was just lowering, my arm was bent like this, and I was lowering it like that. And it just, it's coming up the backside here. Because they cut the bicep, there's 2 bicep tendons come up here, and they cut one off, the smaller one. And now the other ones are going, hey, we hurt too. Just cut my arm off. You couldn't figure out dictionary meanings of the word structure. Yeah. And I look at it kind of as, he said the treasure isn't associated with a structure. That doesn't mean the waypoints to get there aren't, just the treasure. because the structure is 10 miles away. People don't realize this thing covers 40, 50 miles or six, about 40, 50, somewhere in there. I want to figure out where the end. I'm like, I go search this little pocket in this area one time, and I go and search this pocket another time, and maybe I missed one in between them, and that's kind of what I was searching yesterday, the in between, and then I did metal detecting around the post that I had found from the search the other day, and there is something. There's a dead, like a dead aspen, a dead baby aspen or something, aspen that didn't produce. Like maybe he put the treasure there and tried to plant an aspen on top of it. And but there's something going on my metal detector giving me a high tone, because low tones are like iron and stuff. High tones are non-ferrous. No one will find the treasure by searching. Someone will find it by solving. Yeah, I've solved it. His trove to seek are his memories on the canyon walls. Lyrica is the only pain pill I have. They were supposed to send me some cream for my shoulder, and I never got it. The VA never had a tracking number. They said they filled it and charged me for it, but they never actually sent it to me. Yeah, I take 2 Lyrica a day. And propranolol and indomethacin. The indomethacin's a anti-inflammatory, and that helps a lot with the pain. Yeah, you do CBC work? Yeah, my HTC and I mean, like, my red blood cells is like 20. My hematocrit has been up to 57. And shoot, that's empty. I watch the Uptown Grow Lab. The guy does a stream every night, like 10 o'clock. He probably not on yet today, but he's from Redmond, Oregon. Same age as me, like Lou and Ron are the same age as me too. Lou's younger than me, and Ron's older than me. I'm right in between both of them. They just weren't born the right day, or they find the treasure. You have to have the magic number of Thoth, which is 31. And with my birth date, I can add it up, and there's 3 31s, and it's 3/31 is the birthday. It's like super. I mean, you don't get better numerology. And I was supposed to be born the day before. Is that? I see. This is better than icy hot. You got to order it from Canada. It's Lakota. Lakota extra strength, extra fort. I guess that's French, extra fort. A fort. See, like right there. You didn't know that fort meant strength. A fort is a stronghold. Get it? So, yeah, Lakota. It's got the LLA, see, with the accent over it. And somebody told me that's not a Lakota Indian. I knew I had a friend in Oregon. He was a Lakota, and they're very dark-skinned Native Americans. Except they don't have the same facial features as the Africans. You know, the dark Native Americans aren't. They're a different line. People using hemp oil now. Yeah. Yeah. This is my. This guy told me that the pink in here is gold. They use gold to make the glass pink, to get that pink color. But I like this one because it's nice and thick. It doesn't burn your fingers. You know, and it's small. Stick it in your pocket. Drink camp bark extract. Worked for pain. Cramp bark extract. Dark cramp. Okay, that's what kind of tree that come from. This has eucalyptus in it. What's it say? Indicators. Directions. Indication. Risk information. Medical ingredients. Menthol. Caspian. What is it? 0.035% capsaicin. Purified water. Gardiner. Carbamine. I don't know what that is. Glycerin, ethyl, alcohol, and trithistyrene. I don't know. I thought it said it had eucalyptus and stuff in it. Somewhere else on it. But I bought two of these. Gave one to my son and one, and that was a year and a half ago. So it lasts a long time. This is a 150 milliliter. Yeah, it's got that micellar. Yeah, it's got it in there. But yeah, and the doctors, that's almost prescription strength. It's just borderline prescription strength. And then the doctor, I'm itching now from touching that. Get out of here. Yeah. Oh, hang on. There, and the lights go dim. You got the F100 up there, and see what I just hang there, right under the F100 is that little purple thing there. I figured I'd put it next to the F100. This is George Washington. George Washington's on Forrest Fenn's license plate? Yeah. Everybody figure that out, huh? Yeah, he's and this isn't mine. I know somebody. I was thinking when I find the treasure chest, I'll leave that there. Herb farm. Yeah, I had a friend that was an apartment clean out for some property management company. He cleaned out apartment and he had a bunch of metals and he gave me the metals and and he died. But I've got this Purple Heart there. It's not mine. I didn't earn that one, but I'd probably leave it where I find. I figure I'd leave it where I find the treasure. It's a okay. Thanks. It's by Herb Farmer. It's about tired out. I got it off Amazon. You know what else? There's shoot. I should have the name looked up before I start talking about something. There's some plants that grow here in Colorado that the leaves and stuff of it are good for calming the lungs, respiratory, opens up lungs and stuff. And so if you got a cough from smoking it'll straighten out your lungs, kind of, Indian herb plant. And it looks a lot like a deadly plant that grows out in California a lot, but it's a different variety, different size leaves and stuff that you can. And it grows high up here in the mountains. This is a moth on my lights. How did he get in? Doors closed, the windows are closed. Where'd the moth come from? And last night I was, like I told you, I've been when you RV, mice find a way in, and so I use a live trap and put them outside and let them go, or the ones that don't want to go in the trap. That's what the BB gun's for, And sometimes I shoot it, boo, it comes back and bounces off the wall right behind me here. Yes, I don't know if some people haven't been around very long, but this is a piece of mammoth tusk. It looks kind of like a coconut skin shell, and then the ivory is just nice and smooth. This is from Siberia or something. But they sell little. You can buy little pieces of mammoth tusk, and because it's an ancient thing, it's not. You're not killing something to get it there. It's legal. But yeah, that's a neat little piece of ivory. I was going to put it in a belt buckle and use it for the tusks of the belt buckle. It's just I don't have electricity to run all the tools to grind it. And what else is happening? Anything else happening? What's going on? Wow, that's neat. That's cool. Yeah, I've had some mammoth molars too. Slices. There's slices of them, and they're because they're so fragile and stuff. They epoxy them. They put them in an epoxy block, and I showed that to Forrest. Oh, that didn't. Well, he didn't realize that it's been protected it's been entombed in epoxy. It is mammoth molar, and they cut slices like slices of bread of it, and then they put a clear epoxy shell on it to keep it from falling apart. But I got a piece that's big enough to make a belt buckle. Elephants here with their feet, yeah, and they make these low rumble sounds and stuff. And yeah, and they're smart as their brain is huge. Humans got a huge, as big as brain in proportion, but it's nothing compared to the size of an elephant brain or a whale brain. Yeah, elephants can paint and all kinds of things, and they love family. You know, they know who's good and bad. They're a smart animal. You see, I watch his videos, and it got a new rescued baby elephant. You know, maybe the mother got poached, and they bring the baby elephant to the sanctuary, and the other elephants run to greet the new baby elephant. You know, because they're a social, you know, um, they go back and mourn their dead, the bones of their dead and stuff. They come back and to where they left their bones, you know. So that's almost in Forrest Fenn. Even the little billy goat on the bronze, the rocket standing on it. Man, there's a mammoth in that rock. You know, they don't see the mammoth right there in front of them. And I had to, I made a little animation on Giphy where I blacked out around the elephant, and I went from the original to the edited picture, and when you see the original, yeah, it's there. um, yeah, ding ding. It's almost a golden elephant. Um, this let's see, it's got a big clinker. It's brass, I think, but I think maybe this is brass, and maybe maybe it's all brass. Brass and bronze are pretty much alike, and you can put different amounts of change the copper to tin ratio, or the copper to one of them's tin and the other one's steel or something. Iron, one's tin and one's iron. But tin is made of iron too, isn't it? But yeah. Hey, that bell even screws in underneath. That thing, the little round thing that's ring holding it in there, looks like it's screwed in. Oh no. Copper? No, no, this is brass. And I got the Liberty Bell up there. I need to send a picture of dimensions of the core to survey. Oh, on the coast of Oregon, there's a monument on the beach where they stayed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was living in Brookings when that was the last place I lived when, well, no, I lived there when I was living in Oregon anyhow when I got my RV and I started traveling. My first year traveling in my RV, I was in Florida when I learned about it, and only made one more winter in Oregon. Um, but and then I left there, and when I came out, now I was here, so I didn't want to drive back to Oregon, so I got a Colorado driver's license and registered everything here. Sure. Mention of course, we got a storm coming. Houston got hit hard. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, there's going to be a storm next year, and the year after that, and the year after that too. You know, here we get snow, but it melts. Yeah. And we've had some hurricane force wind out at my property. The wind gets up to 68, 70 miles an hour. Cast in bronze. Wall dimensions. Yeah, when I lived in Gardiner, Oregon, Gardiner, Gardiner, like after Captain Gardner, you know, in Gardiner's Island. The guy Gardiner's Island lived in Gardiner, Montana. I think is named after him too. The same guy, but in Gardiner, Oregon, is where he wrecked his ship. His ship was wrecked, and they couldn't save the ship, so they used the timbers to build the town. The timbers from the ship were used to build the first homes and buildings in the town of Gardiner. That's where it came from. And his ship is still out there in the marsh. And that's where I went out there. First drone I had flew away and went out there, and I went looking for it. And I found this giant, this 3.5, 4 foot tall tiki head that was carved out of a stump of a tree. And it was laying there. All I see is this nose sticking out of the grass. It looked like a Easter Island thing, you know. You go there and there's this tiki head. And so I rolled it over to the shore of the island, and then I came back with a rope and stuff to tie it onto my raft to haul it back to the back across the river there. It was on Gardiner's Island, basically, right? Yeah. So I found a tiki totem on Gardiner's Island. Is that a predecessor to getting the treasure? I've already found treasure on Gardiner's Island. It wasn't that scary, Forrest. But I've got that tiki head is still, it's sitting on it's in Northern California on a friend's property. And I'll have to make a trip out there sometime and get that and haul it back here, put it on my property. Big old tiki head. And it had there was a hole going through the eye or just above the eye that went through to the backside. And I put a little LED. I took one of them little garden lights with the LED thing on, or the solar panel and the battery charger. And I took the LED off of that and used a Cat 5 cable, a couple wires, and I made an extension for the LED. And so I had the little solar panel on the top of the tiki head, and the wire went up to this. And I had a quartz crystal with the little LED light and some red transparent paper or whatever, lens paper, you know, like the red film in 3D glasses, you know, just a transparent red with the LED light behind it, and that crystal on it would light up in red when the sun went down. For a power wall. Yeah, my place is off grid. And yeah, my Social Security doesn't pay much to do much. I'm thinking I gotta what I should do is find a trailer and build a portable build my own type of tiny home on a trailer, and that way it's not, they couldn't get me for building without a permit, because it's a trailer or something to be portable, you know. Yeah, I have a design for a flying saucer I want to build. Yeah, my pinpointer's up there it's up there on that mountain over there. Is that right by the creek, right by Fox Creek? It's somewhere up the top of Fox Creek. And that's the other thing. Forrest is foxtrot. Foxtrot, foxtrot. Forrest Fenn. It's 2 F words. Those flatbed homes are nice. Yeah. How you doing, Joe? uh, so when are we taking prisoners tonight, Joe? Foxtrot, foxtrot, 55. Yeah. F the 5th word. 6. Oh. Fox is the 6th word. F is the 6th letter of the alphabet. Toby says hello, D. D. What is that? D is what? Double blazes? Rationalistic. There's Richard Homburg. Yeah, I'm at least half German too. Yeah, German doctor. Good. I'm glad I got a German doctor. I understand it's German people. One of Jason Northface's cousin. What'd he kill you for? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't take notes on their. I watched their show earlier tonight, and I watched the cow earlier tonight, or maybe they were on last night, or the cow was on tonight after Jason, and I think Toby was on what in the afternoon, or was that yesterday afternoon? I watched it, but yeah, my little 7 dwarfs joke. I mean, yeah, K-Pro and the 7 dwarfs. Oh, block Bill. Put him on timeout. He said K-Pro and the 7 dwarfs. Like it was some actual thing or something. No. She was talking about 7 people that were within 200 feet. You know? So if here we turn these 7 people into the 7 dwarfs. Duh. How offensive. Let's see what else new. And I try and tell Puppet Forrest that I don't think Ron and Lou are as liberal as you think they are. You know, he especially Ronnie brought up on the show today on his thing about they were talking about the FBI and stuff, and that and he brought up they were bringing up people that were investigated by the FBI for being communists and stuff like that. And he it didn't sound like Ronnie was for the communists, that's for sure. Yeah, it's just K-Pro and the 7 dwarfs. And I couldn't and the thing posted before I was finished typing, so I wasn't able to. And then I tried to post. We need the 7 dwarfs of the chase. You know, there's. I guess we could have sleazy. Sleazer. I was doing everything that was ending with ers, like lurkers, and stuff. And yeah, tweakers, lurkers, lurker, tweaker. Yeah, I'm not a great communicator. I kind of stutter or trying to put my words together, get the right word out, and uh, what I say doesn't come out like I'm trying to say. It comes out a little differently. I was never took public speaking classes or anything. The only closest come to that was when I was in Boy Scouts and did a talk to the Boy Scouts. Was at a Mormon church, and I did a speech there, but it was nothing about uh, nothing religious anyhow. Not many actual searchers. So yeah, you see where I was in that video. The video I posted earlier today was from yesterday's search, and and it's like, oh, there's steps all over these rocks. I can get up there, and I climbed up. I was about 15 feet higher than where Jack was trying to climb up there. I was like, oh, you're gonna get hurt if you try and get up here. You know, he thinks he's a mountain goat. I was gonna make a Toby and Shelley meme a meme of Emmy of Shelley with a change her into the Wicked Witch with water on her melting. I'm melting. Jack the Kid, yeah. Yeah, I call him Jack Jack. When I was a kid, my sister called me Bill Bill. You know? I don't know why. That's what they all called. That's what her and my parents called me. Yeah, well, they jumped on when they kicked me out of the room and accused me of personally insulting her when all I said was the gypsies lack imagination, and then I say double blazes, and then my double blazes is suddenly the reason for the whole thing, not the gypsies lack imagination, which is the true reason for it. The double blazes came after I was blocked and uh, accused of personally insulting her. If it was a personal insult, I would have said Shelley lacks imagination. I said the gypsies lack imagination as a group. Water over the bridge. Yeah, there's a lot of mud under the bridge. If you jump, like when he jumped off the bridge into the water, do you think he's got his feet stuck in the bottom in the mud? where the water halts is the bottom. He jumped off. Maybe he he might have jumped off and hit the bottom. That's where the water halts, at the bottom. If you cast your line out if you're not a fly fisherman and you got a sinker on there, you cast it out there and your sinker halts at the bottom. That's where waters halt, at the bottom. It's where the sky halts. When you hit the bottom of the sky, you fall out of your airplane, the sky halts at the ground. That's the bottom. When you throw your sinker in the water, it halts at the bottom. So people aren't thinking straight. And the ball of string they measured Pagosa Hot Springs is 1,002 feet because that's all the string they had. They didn't have enough string. Maybe they should have got Forrest. He had more string. But the ball of string could be the Silver Thread Highway too. There's a lot of, but my solution doesn't take me that far. I agree with Shane and Warren Waters Halt. Yeah, I look at Warren Waters Halt is in Guinness Book of World Records. The world's deepest hot spring halts 1,000 feet down. That's where hot water comes from. Comes from the earth, and the earth is known as brown. So below the Homer Brown is below the dirt, maybe. If it's buried in the ground, you're gonna need. I got friends with some technology that we might need to get some technology to pinpoint, because I'm right in the right area, and get out. And I still have the theory that it's in his will. I've already completed the task. I've already found the blaze. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. What are the words of that? If you found wise, look quickly down, your quest to cease. Is that something to do with the Tom Dooley song? We don't know, because he's looking down, right? Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. And that was a song of Forrest Fenn's era. No. Oh. Put the right words in the Google. There we go. RICS. Yeah. Throughout history, there have been many songs written about that ain't the lyrics. When the sun rises tomorrow, Tom Dooley must hang. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. But it's about the end of somebody's life, It's a neat thing, because Forrest Fenn talks about entrances and exits. It's playing your part, and I got one picture I used where I put that poem on a meme. I used a picture of a road going through a series of like 4 or 5 tunnels, and there's light at the end of each tunnel. It's like the 9 lives of a cat, and he changes his thing every 15, 20 years. Like he did 20 years in the Air Force. He did 15, 20 years of the art gallery, and he doing his he has so much time, and goes on to do something else, rather than somebody who's the librarian their entire life. But the librarian could learn quite a bit being with all that stuff to read. Earlier mentioned he enjoyed radio. Yeah, my dad did. My dad used to recite the intros to the Lone Ranger and the Shadow and things like that. Did the elephant get the mouse? I don't know. I let the mouse go. No, I didn't. I was shooting at the mouse last night, but he decided to put himself in the live trap this morning, and so he got released out in the forest. I paroled the mouse. The state he talks about least. No, the bracelet, the beads in the bracelet were found in Colorado. Harvey was from Fred Harvey's Colorado based. He talks about the mountain men rendezvous and stuff. And John C. Fremont was one of the original mountain men. it was a buddy of Kit Carson's and stuff. Kit Carson's house is in Taos and stuff. And John C. Fremont was trying to find a route for a railroad near the 38th parallel. What's the 38th parallel? It has a relationship to what? North and South Korea, you know? So that's the war he was in South Korea. So south of the 38th parallel, you know. All the way around the world. And Capro or somebody was reading something about him finding similarities of things from up here down in Vietnam. You find where his stories are on the canyon walls here in my solve, and I've got the Buffalo Cowboy car, the father and the son, Rockwell thing, and that image is in a couple of them. No, she's reading something that somebody else wrote. Part of the cause is my system goes, there's not enough oxygen in the blood, get more. And so that, makes my lungs are just trying to get more air. But my blood cells are bad taxi drivers for the oxygen, basically, because they're mutants. Too many mutant blood cells. Hey, ow, that hurt my shoulder. Trying to hurt me? Oh, try San Fernando Valley. Oh, it's San Fernando, Santa Fe, SF, San Francisco, Santa Fe, St. Francis, South Fork, South Fork, other SFs, and his, Forrest Fenn, double Fs. Why not double blazes? His name is double Fs. I passed a banana tree, but K-Pro ate them before I grabbed them. Yeah. I enjoyed bringing the bananas to Fembury with my own grab all the banana stickers, double blazes. I was hoping somebody would take the leftover bananas, make some banana bread, and send me a loaf. Get me the nerve to leave California. Oh, yeah. No, the politicians will get you the nerve to leave California. Nobody has to help you with that. You should have already left. Good move, Steve. Yeah. I left California in '89 and moved to Colorado. And I was here till late '96, and then I went to California to try and fight a BS ticket thing, and they wouldn't let me plead not guilty or set for trial. Tell him he's going to get at least 3 years if he tries to fight this. Is that a threat or what, Judge? And they ordered a transcript, the appeals court ordered the transcript, and they took 18 months to give it to, and they were supposed to have it within 6 weeks or something like that. you know what? Criminal courts in California, especially there in Santa Clara County, they're a bunch of crooks. Especially back in that day, in the 96, 97. What part you live? Not guilty. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I just left California, and 10 years later, I got it off my record. and and I never won another California license. No. Santa Clara. Really, my brothers were born in Santa Clara, or San Jose. They were. I was born in Oakland. I was the last white man born in Oakland. Rock Springs. Rock Springs. That Rock Springs is Wyoming. Is that near Rock Springs? Yeah. Hopefully, I haven't touched my neck. It's in the corner of my eye. Let's see. Kaiser on Kylie Bull. Yeah, I had surgery there in 1965 at that Kaiser, and yeah, I've had several surgeries at Kaiser. Nose surgery, and had a hernia surgery in 1965 there. And I had this thumb, the scar right here. That's from that Kaiser on Kylie. The gamekeeper's thumb. I was playing softball, company softball, and I was slid into one of the bases. I think it was second, and I caught my thumb caught on the base, and it tore the tendon out of my thumb there. They call it gamekeeper's thumb. And so they reattached it, and they had a pin through my knuckle that was sticking out, and that thumb's working okay now. Toby needs a dictomy surgery. Yeah, I don't know. They have to have one. Doesn't he have to have one first? Oh, end of my tea. Guess that's sugar. Hang down your head and cry. The Tom Dooley. I thought it might have something to do with look quickly down. But is it look quickly? Look at your feet. You're done. You're finished. You found the blaze. Does that mean you're done? You think it probably does, but since he's not going to let you know you won until after he's passed away in his will, then you keep looking for it and keep looking, and you keep finding more and more and more. And meanwhile, everybody's going, "Oh, he's hallucinating out there." Word accountant. How to put words in alphabetical. File clerk. I've had some. I was a electrician, industrial electrician, and I've worked on the Stanford Linear Accelerator. That might be why I have blood cancer, because there's radioactive stuff sitting around in places up there. I walked through a room, and halfway through the room, there's a bunch of things behind it. It's roped off, with the don't cross the line of, tape like stuff. I think it was just chains with signs on it though. But it's roped off, and the radioactive signs, and there's all these metal parts that are just out there, and they all have radioactive signs on them and stuff. And I didn't go past the chain or anything, but my dosimeter went off the chart. and I reported it to him at work, to the guy that handles that. Oh, this one's broken. You know, and where is it? I got one here. Yeah, we had to wear one of these CD civil defense like dosimeter, and when you look through it, there's a little meter. And what does this one say? Because this one I haven't looked at it forever, and right now it's on 20. It's on 20, and I haven't reset this thing for like 2-3 years. And so if you get 50 in a day, that's not good. But at 20 over 3 years, it's only seen 20 regions or whatever. See, can you see in there? If I put a light on here. Oh, come on, not flashing. You can probably see it if I get it right. Here you can see it. It's the meter. The light's too bright. It's radioactive. Oh. Yeah, there's a meter goes across there. It's real tiny, and you got like a magnifying glass to see it. But I've got a set of those, and then I have a Geiger counter. After Fukushima, I want to know. I want to know if this stuff's radioactive. But yeah, and the Geiger counter in Oregon wasn't working on the lower scale. It was pegged on the lower scale, so you couldn't use lower scale because there was more than that much radiation after Fukushima. Oh, I'm an hour and 43 minutes of lead searcher just for the first clue. Yeah, he's officially a rooster. Yeah. And the hens say any cockle-doo. They have a NL here. Oh, in Idaho, I thought that was Hanford, and that's in Washington. Yeah, my kid was telling me, "Oh, apply for his job in Washington and in a town that's." I looked at. I said, "Man, that's Hanford." That they tell them it's this other town that isn't so popular, but you look up what's there, and it's Hanford, and you look up Hanford, and man, that's radiation hell. They've had things leaking there forever. And wait, Hanford. Yeah, Hanford's bad. You don't want to take my grandkids to Hanford. Rooster crowing at the break of dawn. Take one look and the treasure's gone. Czech, Idaho was the first failed atomic reactor. Oh yeah. I used to work at for a company. We were putting in. I was doing the kitchen equipment at a Navy submarine testing facility in Alaska. That they have hydrophones. I should say they told everybody what's there. There's hydrophones in the water, and they run submarines through there. They park submarines and hook them up to shore power. and run one piece of equipment at a time to see how much noise it makes and stuff like that. But I was hooking up all the kitchen equipment at this new facility that they were building because it was too noisy in Puget Sound to test submarines anymore. They had to take it up to Alaska where it was quiet. And but I worked there about 3 weeks, and the guy I work, you know, that's the guy you're working for is a CIA agent. You know, they're all their intelligence, and yeah, they're basically CIA. The people you work for when you work on that stuff. 72 to 96 hours. Oh, he's gonna let everybody know I already won. Oh, because I go out to my spot and it's like it's got, yeah, it's got, if you don't see it while you're walking around, it's going to be something that's buried, and then you don't know where the hell it's buried. You have to know the right, you know, the right baseball diamonds area. Dizzy Dean bases. Are the bases the blazes? You're going around the blazes. His stories on the canyon walls. Do we hear 60? Do we hear 60? Almost what? But for what? I'm already at 61. You see this picture? Where's that one? I said, yeah, this one here is the Stargate. I'll keep my finger there. That one right there is it was a picture of this thing in Eugene at the park. There was this like this Stargate, and I put it through the art program, and it really looks like a Stargate now. See right through that arch, right there. Mad world there. Yeah, I remember seeing that movie when it came out and stuff when I was a kid. My parents they took us to the drive-in, and we used to go to the old theater with the paintings on the ceiling and stuff. We had a 2-level theater, the Center Theater in Fremont, and it turned into a raunchy theater, and I don't know what it is now, but we used to go there a lot. It was on the Fremont Strip where they filmed American Graffiti too. Da, 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 148. That's all. That's getting close to 2 hours. But give me something to talk about. Title thinks so. I just disagree. K-Pro told me. Oh, K-Pro told you it's going to be over? January. This my search, the snow here doesn't really start. It might snow when it might snow tomorrow, but it'll melt be gone the next day, and you'll have plenty of 2 weeks of searching, and then it might snow again. But up until I've searched in the middle of January before there was significant snow to stop the searching. But mid-January up until June, a lot of it, some of it's the south-facing hills and stuff are melted, but anything that's on the north side of a hill is going to be covered with snow up till possibly June. And like this area I'm camped at right now, it didn't open till July. That's why I didn't come up here till late. Because the road, there was so much snow last year, it washed out parts of the road and they had to fix it. So there was nowhere to camp up here. So I just hung out on my property until it was ready to be, till the roads were open. I searched snow on the ground. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I had a search, I think this is December or so. I don't know. And a walk up the south side of the hill, and the top of the hill was clear, and you know, particularly like cliffs and stuff. It reflects the sunlight back down into the canyon. The snow pile up. Yeah, there was a lot here. Pictures of the Smokey the Bear out by the highway, and the snow was up too. He's like his head sticking out. Tea is gone. 150, and I should keep short. Try and end in the next 9 minutes. The snow piled up the last winter. Oh, I'm reading the same thing over and over. Is everybody still here? Yeah, there's still 19. It tells me 19. April and Cal were talking about them finding the treasure up near Moses. And some rocks. Up near, they don't know where, up near what? Are they in Moses, Washington? Or what? Moses is down here. The one that Leo Salazar carved the Moses for Forrest. Leo Salazar said that's where Moses received the 10 Commandments. As he was carving the likeness of that one there. Leo Salazar lived in Taos. You think Leo Salazar was going with Forrest up to Yellowstone and stuff? Or do you think Forrest and Leo come up here? The more likely Forrest and Leo would go adventuring together, and Leo showed him where Moses was. Oh, I was watching that. It was like, oh man, there's Cape Rose back in North Carolina. And Shannon Oots is there at Mike's place. And you could see Cape Rose wasn't that happy with it. She was like, oh, yeah, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I get it. Oh. Yeah, the way they talk. People are dumb enough to buy it up, dude. Yeah. I'm not spending $75 on a game. I ain't got nobody here to play it with me. Yeah, my batteries are doing good. My AC's still on. And I just ordered a new battery for my laptop. The one that goes on the laptop is that battery. It gets down to like 30%. And then all of a sudden it says you have 5 minutes left, and then it's turning it off, like when it's still really 30%. So there's something wrong with that battery. So I ordered one that's a bigger one, and I have the external battery also. So with the two batteries on it, that laptop when it has two good batteries goes for 10 hours on a charge. To the right, show GoPro help for a small fee, of course. Yeah. Yeah, she plays favorites to the people that came from her blog, And I made a comment on one of Toby's comments on her blog, but my username isn't. Somebody called me by that username, Clovis Man. On her blog, I'm Clovis Man. This is my hat for my metal detector. It came with my metal detector. You spend $1,300 on a metal detector, you get a free cheapy hat that doesn't really come down on your head. Here's the top of the Spanish treasures you were talking about. What I got here? Oh, there's a French. The French were mining gold up here near Treasure Mountain and in Summitville. They were mining gold, and the Spanish and Indians got, and they killed them all. The 300 dead Frenchmen. And that's why Forrest Fenn, the Frenchman's tombstone, and there were hundreds of them. And people don't put that together. The 300 dead Frenchmen, hundreds of dead Frenchmen in Vietnam, 300 dead Frenchmen here. Treasures, bold. The word treasure is on the map. The word treasure is on the map. And treasure is boldly on the map. But that's only a general area. That puts you in the area only. Treasure is really... no, it's not treasure. I think Treasure Mountain's too high. Treasure Mountain's over 10-2. Yeah, there is supposed to be their treasure. They're supposed to have hit it in 3 different places. They put it in 3 different places. So 300 Frenchmen. Yeah. It's the LeBlanc treasure. LABLANC. LeBlanc. Is Blanca Spanish or French? Did the Spaniards name it or French? LeBlanc and one guy made it back to France. 3 of them made it back to Kansas, and 1 made it back to France because the Louisiana territory was French, and they came into the Spanish territory getting gold, and the French run them off. Yeah, the White expedition. So yeah, blank is white. Yep, White Mountain is Blanca Mountain. White Mountain with the snow. She's teaming up with the wiki. Telling people not to tell. I think we can overrule Joel Wiki, right, Joe? we get Joe to overrule Joel. Joel is a Joe with an L on it. He's worse than Charles. Yeah. When I first looked up his name on the internet, it came up. There was personal injury lawyers and stuff come up when he looked up Joel Wiki. Shit, 20. That's cool, January. Yeah, I've gone searching in January when it was 45 degrees. So, you get a cold wave, you get a warm wave, a cold wave and a warm wave. So there are days in the winter, and around here, my Spurch area particularly, kind of faces the south, south facing, so the snow melts pretty good where there isn't a bunch of trees. Where there's a bunch of trees, it's June or July, up till like June before you can get into some of them places. Even my metal detector won't go through 3 feet of snow. And trying to climb over those mounds of snows, not too fun. Isn't Charles Chappellip's friend with the old? Yeah. Yeah. What's it? Yeah, from the old what's her name? Janet. Yeah. The Swimmer actress. Burt Lancaster in The Swimmer with Janet. Land guard, yeah. Yeah, we went on Thanksgiving evening and she crashed into the barrier for the gas pumps at the convenience store. She backed into it hard, put a big old dent in, and then I find out she doesn't even have a driver's license. You know, well, if you didn't have, yeah, yeah. Uh, she doesn't even have a driver's license, and she was out there drunk driving. Well, well, you know what happens when you get caught drunk driving without a driver's license? They make you walk home, and they give you a ticket for driving without a license. They don't give you a ticket for drunk driving. So, if you're a drunk driver, you don't want to have a driver's license. Is that how it works, Joe? Yeah. She can probably. Oh, I don't know. I went down there for nothing. Yeah, I stayed at a state park down there, and I went out and camped it on the intercoastal side of Padre Island. Holden Caulfield. Did you say we went down there? I went down. I went down there. I don't know who you talking to. Wait, did Bill say he went? Yeah, I went. I was down there. That's where the big chunk of my roof of my RV got blown off. I was camped. There's a bridge that goes over to Padre Island from Corpus Christi over to Padre Island, and there's a place, big flat area there, and you were allowed to camp there, have your RV there for a certain amount of time. My low battery. Okay, well, my battery's trying to die, and I'm over 2 hours, so we're gonna call it. Say adios. Send me a message if you got anything else. The way you said you went down there right after talking about Janet. It sounded like you went. No, I did not. No. What's with this power? Is that plugged in? I don't know. Everything's plugged in. So, yeah, if I stream, Verizon will kill my phone battery, and that's what it's doing. It's trying to shut down. So I'll talk to y'all later.